So all of you voted for Mikey Sherrill in last month's governor's race in your state,
Yep.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to hear from you. Why did you vote for Sherrill over Jack Ciattarelli? Give me just in a couple of sentences why you voted for Mikey Sherrill instead of Ciattarelli. Eugenia, why don't you start?
Sure. Could it be a bit of a biased um reason? Like it's not more about her policies, it's more about like the way I felt.
Well, tell me about that. Like, why'd you vote for her
Sure.
instead of him?
Oh, I can also say some of the things that she promised, but I felt that she was more down to earth. I mean, considering her background, she was like a pilot, and it's a strong background for a woman, especially. And I was just so dissatisfied and so disappointed. Maybe was the leadership that was right now was experienced people that I just wanted to give her a try. Just let her be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, David, why did you choose Mikey Sherrill over Jack Ciattarelli?
I had three reasons. One is Chitterelli, and it reminded me of Murphy, both being like, you know, good old boy politicians. It seemed like most of Chitterelli's platform was talking about Trump. And third, I really liked Nikki's energy plan, specifically like, you know, at least mentioning it and having some sort of plan as opposed to just not even talking about it, freezing rates, going after PGM, things like that. PJM, excuse me. Sorry.
Okay. Anthony, why'd you choose Sherrill over Ciattarelli?
Um, it wasn't an easy decision because I think they're both full of it. Um, I there's just something about that man, the energy that he has. It just wasn't resonating with me, and me being connected with some people that know him and his camp personally, I just wasn't going for it.
It piqued my curiosity. What do you mean by his energy? Like what do
Like
you
he comes across as a phony. He comes across as a person that says the right things because he's in the moment. And he reminds me of all the other politicians that say the right things and then end up turning the tables on people the moment that they get into office. And I've been watching politics since the 70s. So
Okay. Cynthia, why'd you vote for Sherrill instead of Ciattarelli?
I mean, look, I'm a Republican, but let me tell you, if somebody is checking all the boxes for me, if they're a Democrat, I'm going to go with my gut and what I feel. And Mikey is just proven to me, naval officer, former federal prosecutor, mother of four. Like she's tough, but she's like the quiet storm. Like she'll get things done, and I kind of echo like Anthony, that energy, that vibe. But Chitterelli, I wasn't feeling at all because it was like shades of Murphy, and look what Murphy's done to New Jersey. Nothing.
Okay. Got it. Michael, what about you?
I voted for her because of her veteran status, because being in the
Mm-hmm.
military, when you have a job that needs to get done, you get it done. You make sure you
Right.
find a way to do it. And that's what I liked about her. She was proven, again, what Cynthia said, she's a mother of four. She
Mhm.
gets the family issues. She sees the high rates that we have to pay regarding our energy and the taxes and everything of that nature. So I felt she was more down to earth and for the people than the other gentleman.
Okay. Lisa, why did you
Yeah.
choose why'd you choose Sherrill over Ciattarelli?
I agree with what a lot of everybody said. A big part of it for me was that she was going to put the state of emergency on the utility increase, which was a big, I don't know, it just hit home for me personally because that's been a big burden for us as a family. And it's just, I feel like if she's targeting that, which is really a big issue within the state, I think she's going to really target and stay on top of other big issues within the state.
Okay. Christian, how about you?
Yeah, also pretty much along the lines of what a couple of the others said. I felt that Jack Ciattarelli was also kind of wearing a mask during a majority of his campaigns and, piggybacking off of Trump a lot, or just utilizing Trump's name in general, let me say. and also because of, as I also mentioned in one of my previous answers, Mikey Sherrill was, she was campaigning with a lot of housing affordability and just state affordability in general in mind, and that's, especially here in New Jersey, a huge issue right now.
Christian, let me just follow up. So you say he was running like he was wearing a mask. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, kind of. If I'm not mistaken, it was Anthony. How he said he just kind of seemed like a phony. I just felt like he was just acting in a way that he knew, or that he thought, let me say, that certain people would lean towards, I guess, or resonate more with. But the same old story. Once most people are in office, they kind of flip on you. And I don't even want to talk about all politicians in general, excuse me. But for the most part, I haven't been around for a whole lot of different presidencies, or whatever the case is. But from what I've seen ever since I started getting a little more interested into politics, is whatever your stance is on whatever side you fall on, I feel that the Republican Party is a little more, I guess, selfish in their approaches. No matter how they campaign for them, at the end of it, it always just benefits them, and that's just kind of what I've noticed for the most part.
Okay. So it's all 7 of you. So once Mikey Sherrill takes over the governorship of New Jersey, what do you want her to prioritize once she's in office? Anybody? Anthony.
Mental health.
Meaning what? What do you want her to do?
Make people more aware of how we need to take care of ourselves and get checked up. We need to advocate for people that may not even understand that their mental health could be the problem that's getting in the way of the decisions that they're making. And it starts with nutrition, but that's a whole different subject.
Okay, got it. What else do you want her to prioritize? David?
I want her to do what she said. We need some sort of relief in terms of the energy problem in the state. I know it's not going to happen overnight, but there has to be some forward progress in upgrading and creating infrastructure in the state to alleviate our energy concerns. She couldn't do anything else she wants to, but that's like the number 1 priority for me. That's why I voted for her. So.
Okay. What else? What are the priorities that you want her to have? Are there 5 of you? You must have something you wanted. You voted for her. Tell me what you want her to do when she shows up, day 1. What should she be working on?
Affordability, housing affordability, to echo again what Anthony said, mental health, even though Vance's mother, that's a big platform too, a sidebar to that. But yeah, definitely women's health, mental health, housing affordability, energy, taxes, inflation, all of that in the state of New Jersey, because it's just getting unaffordable. That's why people are leaving New Jersey in droves, and everywhere else is just, getting more and more expensive to live now too. But it's still a little cheaper in spots of New Jersey. But the housing situation here is just crazy with the mortgages and the rates and everything. It's just so expensive.
Got it. Cynthia, did you say something about Vance's mother? Did I hear that right?
Yes, mental health. That Vance's, Vance is platform is mental health, because her story is unbelievable with her, battling drug addiction and mental health and everything like that. Vance is really working to put a major spotlight on mental health and, being very aware of that and getting people the right help that they need.
Okay. Show of fingers. Who else has heard that besides Cynthia? Anybody else know that Vice President Vance is working on that?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Okay. Got it. All right. So someone listening to this conversation might wonder how you could go from voting for Trump in 2024 to voting for Mikey Sherrill just 1 year later. Who can explain this shift to me?
Expect the unexpected.
Okay. Michael, explain it to me. How'd you go from voting for Trump to voting for Mikey Sherrill?
I didn't like the alternative. I didn't want to go down the same road again where we were going to get obliterated with taxes and the cost of living is going to be going up when you look at New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. I mean, for example, Jersey, they tax your pension when you're putting into
Oh,
it, and then they tax your pension when it comes out. New York, they don't tax your pension. You put in for it, they tax it when it comes out, not. So why am I getting double taxed on thing that I worked for?
Okay, so Michael, hold on a second. So you had heard that Chitterelli was in favor of double taxation of pensions?
No, no, no. It's already being done. But the thing is, when he was talking, he wanted a 10% tax across the board on food, which we don't currently have right now, and everything else like clothing, which we currently don't have right now. New York, they tax your clothes. New Jersey doesn't. I mean, we're already paying enough in taxes. I can't see paying any more.
Okay, so hold on a second. So you just to clarify, so I understand this, you heard about a Chitterelli tax plan that was going to harm your finances. Is that what I should take away from your comments?
Correct.
Okay, got it. So other reasons. Explain. Okay. I understand your why you chose Cheryl over Chitterelli. Can someone explain to me though the shift? In other words, someone listening to this will go, "How the heck could these people go from voting for Donald Trump, a Republican, to Mikey Sherrill, a Democrat, just 1 year later?"
I think it's simple for me. I mean, I was trying to use my vote in a way that I thought had value, and I don't think it had any value. And I'm not going to make that mistake again. Now, I tried to vote for what I thought was the right candidate instead of the right person for me as being a Democrat, and it backfired on me. So I'm not going to be doing that anymore.
Okay, you mean so the Trump vote backfired, and you're going to vote Democrat by voting for Cheryl? Is that what you're saying?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Anybody else have another explanation for me about your jumping? Christian, go ahead.
Well, it's not really another. It was kind of the same thing, essentially that David just said. I would say for me, it's kind of a testament to how I guess trust was lost over the year. Whereas I voted for him back in 24. Now a year later, I feeling let down. I wanted to be a little more logical in my approach and vote for someone who I felt would benefit, me more.
Got it. Okay. Any other explanation I need to know about? Explaining how you went from Anthony?
It wasn't so much of the party. She's a veteran, and regardless of the fact, me being a veteran, we know that we take pride in helping people that can't help themselves. So that helped a lot in making my decision. And the fact that the other guy just didn't have any experience like that whatsoever.
Okay. Got it. So by a show of fingers, who thinks New Jersey has been going in the wrong direction for the past few years? Who thinks New Jersey's been going in the wrong direction? 6 of you do. All right.
Me too. Yes.
Oh, 7. Okay. So if you think New Jersey has been going in the wrong direction, why did you give a Democrat, Mikey Sherrill, the governorship after 2 straight terms of Democrat Phil Murphy? Why not give the Republican a chance?
Phil Murphy acts like a Republican.
Phil Murphy acts like a Republican, meaning what?
All his policies, they're geared. He's definitely more toward the side of Republican for Democrat for me. I mean, and he's also what I mentioned earlier. He feels like he's one of the good old boys network of politicians, where it doesn't really matter what party you're in, type of politician. They're all for the same big business type of situation. Chitterelli is the same way, which is why I voted for Mickey, because she had someone mentioned earlier, like the energy, right? Murphy and Chitterelli have that same big business, good old boys, Washington politics energy, and she has something that's a little different than that.
Okay. Well, for the rest of you, explain this to me. New Jersey's marching in the wrong direction. It's been run by a Democrat for the last 8 years. You're going to pick another Democrat to run the state and fix things? I'm confused by this. Eugenia, why did you vote for another Democrat after 8 years of a Democrat that you're
It's
not happy
not about you know, a person being a Democrat or Republican, especially for me who's independent. It's more about the exact person and the exact policies they carry. So, you know, if it's going to be a Republican next time, that would be more appealing to me. I will I will do this person.
with? Okay.
And I've kind of echoed that same sentiment too, where if you're a Republican, right, and all the boxes are being ticked, and you're picking up on that vibe and that energy that they're going to do the right thing, and you believe and you trust that they have the best interests of the state in heart and in mind, I'm going to go with somebody opposite me. I mean, I'll vote for a Democrat if they're doing everything I feel, you know, is right, and vice versa. You know, I would have voted for Biden if he made sense, but you know, he didn't to me.
Okay. So how is Mikey Sherrill different from Phil Murphy? Other than being a veteran, which I number which means a lot to you guys. In terms of policies, how is she going to be different from Murphy? Isn't she just another Democrat?
I think she's just going to bring a fresh approach to everything, and it's a woman's perspective. If I must, you know, if I must say so, you know, let's see what she can do. She can get the job done. Let's see what she can. Let's see what she can do. I feel like I could trust her way more than Chitterelli. Way more. He didn't do it. You know, this is the third time out for him. He didn't win it. So I'm excited to see what she's going to bring to the table when she comes in.
Okay. Lisa, how is Cheryl going to be different from Chitterelli for you? I mean, different from Murphy, excuse me.
Yeah, no, I agree with a lot of what Cynthia said. I think that, you know, she just is gonna have a different. I don't know. I know you're not always supposed to go with your feelings and emotions, but I just feel more relatable to her. Like I can have a conversation with her, and that she's more personable. You know, she would go around, she would talk to you and find out what's really going on, and that to me is important. Where Murphy was very like everybody said, business focused and didn't really give a crap about, you know, us as people. He just wanted to make money for himself. So I just didn't get it. I really just like to go with my gut with a lot of these things. And I just have a good feeling about her.
Okay, got it. So I know there was an ad that ran throughout the campaign that showed Cheryl being asked a pretty straightforward question and her just being unable to answer. And if you guys remember seeing an ad like that, where she was asked a question from a reporter, was in some show, and she basically was unable to answer a very straightforward question, really kind of dissembled. Show of fingers, who remembers that ad?
I remember.
I remember.
I think I do, yeah.
4 or 5 of you do. So after seeing that ad, you weren't put off by her?
No,
No, you
because
guys.
you got to look at it this way too. It's just a segment. You don't see the full storyline. They just capture that one moment to make her look like a fool.
Okay.
So you don't know the whole question and the whole situation that led up to that. She might have had a million and one things going in the back of her mind, and she just couldn't pinpoint that one thing.
Got it. Okay. A couple last things on this race. We'll move on to another topic. By a show of fingers, when you folks voted last month, how many of you would say that you voted for Cheryl in some way as a protest vote against President Trump and his policies? How many of you would say that your vote for Cheryl was a protest vote against President Trump and his policies? Any of you voting with that in mind?
No.
Not at all. Okay. How many of you would say that you voted for her as a change in direction from the way President Trump has been running things on the federal level? Would any of you say that that's how you voted? In other words, he's been doing one thing kind of in his way, and he wanted to go in a somewhat different direction. It wasn't a formal protest. You just wanted to go in a somewhat different direction.
Like 50-50 for me.
So that was a consideration for you when you voted?
Yeah.
It was. And for you, Anthony, also?
You said earlier a different direction, right? Being that she's a different gender, being that, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't so much of the party. It was maybe to create some contrast so that they can work together.
That she could work with Trump, you mean?
They have to work together because they're both in politics, right? But I figured that her being a female, and the other one sounding phony, I'm gonna go with the person who seems to have the most experience in the battlefield.
Got it. Okay, thank you. So all of you voted for Abigail Spanberger in last month's governor's race in your state. I want to hear from each of you. Why did you vote for Spanberger over Earl Sears? Evelyn, why'd you do that?
At the time, what Abigail was offering sounded good, rather than what Earl was giving.
What was Spanberger offering?
Medicare, good Medicare for the people.
Medicare for the people. Okay. Justin, why did you choose Spanberger over Earl Sears?
I think Spanberger was the more sensible, politician of the two. Earl Sears seems kind of like kooky. But I think the thing is I knew Spanberger as like a moderate Democrat, so I was comfortable with her, and like her views are pretty pragmatic. And I just thought that was she was the more sensible of the two.
Got it. Bruce.
I think I have a unique answer for this one. She was actually my congresswoman, and I was pleased. On a personal note, there were several occasions where her and her staff resolved issues for me and my family. But also, since she was my congresswoman, I was aware of her track record, and she was the closest thing to what you can call a moderate nowadays. She worked across the aisle. She wasn't an extremist. There were some views in the campaign that I think she took just to please the party. But I think on a whole, she's the closest thing you're going to find to a moderate in either party these days.
Got it. Ashley, what about you?
Well, I like my president to be like my daddy and my governor to be like my mommy. And I want a strong president who's gonna take care of things, but I want my governor to be warm and a real human and understanding. And while I said I like the ideas in the big beautiful bill, especially regarding Medicaid and SNAP benefits, I am a recipient of those programs. So it is in my best interest to keep her in office. And also I like that she supported marijuana, legalizing it.
Okay, got it. Alicia. You're muted.
Can you repeat the question so I answer correctly?
Why'd you vote for Spanberger in the?
I would just have to say her political views were in line to what I was going for when it came to education, when it came to healthcare benefits, and she just altogether had a good representation, good background.
Okay, thank you. Robert, why did you vote for Spanberger? You're muted.
She had good, reasonable views for the common people, and Winston Merrill Sears just seemed to be an extremist who actually just kept defining herself in comparison to others than rather what she stood for.
Okay.
And would propagate the worst of the Trump policies.
All right. Rebecca, what about you?
I think Trump helped her win, at least for me, because I don't want somebody to be too extreme like Trump, and Winsome is too extreme. I also like Abigail has just common sense and very moderate. And she likes to strengthen the economy, and she also supports women's choice, what's it called? Pro choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So what do you folks want Spanberger to do? What do you want her to prioritize once she's sworn in? Anybody?
Yeah, I'd say helping the consumer and affordability, and especially I'm kind of concerned about electric prices, especially with like data centers. And I heard that like that is
Actually,
impacting.
Justin, sorry, I gotta move faster through this. I
Yeah,
apologize.
no worries.
Affordability, got it. What else do you guys want her to prioritize?
Affordable housing.
Affordable housing. Rebecca,
Job retention.
say it again.
Job retention.
Job retention. Okay. What else? Robert,
Healthcare quality.
healthcare equality.
Quality.
Healthcare quality. Thank you. Sorry. Got it. Anything else?
Primarily that.
Okay. Got it. So someone listening to this conversation might wonder how you could go from voting for Trump in 24 to a year later voting for Spanberger in 25. Anybody explain that shift to me?
Voting on the promise, hope, and then reacting to the reality that is we often face once people get into office, and they know what to say for the marketing, but they rarely do it, just like many of the corporations.
Okay. Anybody else?
I felt like the Republican candidate wasn't similar to Trump in any way. If she had been, I would have voted for her.
Okay. Well, didn't she embrace him on the campaign trail, Ashley?
Yeah, but I'm not sure he embraced her, and I feel like that was with good reason.
Okay. Why? Why was that with good reason?
I just don't think she didn't have any. Trump had a lot of new ideas that he came up with on his own to stimulate the economy and everything. She didn't, as far as I know, purport one new idea to do anything for Virginia in betterment, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Bruce, you gonna say something about why you were able to, why you flipped from Trump to Spanberger?
Different priorities for the federal government versus the state government. The president has a lot of other things he's responsible for, including international affairs, the economy, healthcare, whereas state issues are quite different. And so I liked Trump's approach better for the federal, but I like Spanberger better for her approach to the state issues.
Okay. Any other reasons other than what was already stated? For why you
Change. Just, I feel like we've been in a vicious cycle. We're stuck with these two political parties, and until something breaks through, we're just going to keep bouncing from one party to the other because they both kind of suck.
Okay. All right. And by a show of fingers, when you voted last month, how many of you would say you voted for Spanberger in some ways as a protest vote against President Trump and his policies? 3 of you would say your vote for Spanberger. Evelyn, you two, 4 of you. Your vote for Spanberger was a protest vote against President Trump and his policies. Okay. Evelyn, how so?
To what the policies that Trump had first put or has first said in the beginning is too different from what Abigail wanted for the state and better for the people. And Trump was missing some of those points of what Abigail could offer.
Okay. Anybody else explain this to me? How it was a protest?
Yeah. I think
Justin, I'm here from Rebecca. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, Trump made a lot of promises, but most of them could not be delivered.
Okay.
And also, I don't like how he like defunded Medicare.
Okay, so you were sending a message to him by voting for Spanberger.
He's not gonna get my message, but I wanted some change.
Okay. So it wasn't formally a protest vote. You just wanted change from what he was doing. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. But show of fingers, for how many of you was it a protest vote? It was a way to say to President Trump, I'm not happy with what you're doing in your first year in office. I want to go in a different direction. For how many of you was it a true protest vote? So for just one of you. So what was it for the other one of you? What was it? I'm not fully understanding. Was it like, so Evelyn, was it like Rebecca?
Yes.
Okay, so you wanted a change in direction, but it wasn't a formal protest. Is that
Correct.
Okay, Robert, the same for you?
Lack of extremism. I wanted lack of extremism, lack of the bull in the China shop. And, Trump might not get the message, but the Republicans in the House who all have to face re-election next year will get the message.
Okay. So it was a protest vote against the party, less so about Trump specifically. Am I understanding that right?
Hard to differentiate the two given how the party are sycophants right now for Trump, but it's met protests against Trump and telling the party, hey, rein him in.
Okay. So, okay. Got it. So you were sending a message.
Yep.
Okay. Got it.
As well as repudiating Winston Myrtle Sears for being extreme herself. So combination, but there was a strong message.